Now, everything that was in the name heading in column 2 is going to fall under column 1. And if you have price in column 2 in table 1, and you have price have a price column in table 1 and a price column in table 2, when you append those columns, the price in table 2 the prices in table 2 are automatically going to fall under the price in table 1. So at the end of the day, that's called an append. So I took the table called stock 1 and the table called stock 2, and I appended I appended those tables, and I came up with a new table called stock append. Excuse me. So stock append, I could name this table anything I want to name it. I just called it stock append for the sake of simplicity. So that's why we see stock 1, table stock 1, we see table stock 2, and we see table stock append. Table stock append is the one we're going to be working with because we've already combined the data using an append. Now, if you look up here, you see it says the preview may be up to 4 days old, which means I created this initial data set several days ago. I created this initial data set several days ago. So there could be more up-to-date information for these for these particular stocks in this table, and we'll look at refreshing and potentially having a new order, or seeing the more current, more up-to-date information based on the stocks that we have. But right now we are not. Now here's one thing that you can take into consideration is the stocks that I use for this particular report at that time were the most actively traded stocks. They are the most actively traded stocks. So if that was several days ago, of course, stocks, tend to change, and some are more volatile than others. So it could show that once we refresh this data and see what the most current data is, that some of these stocks may change, some of them may leave, the prices may change, they may go up, they may go down. But at the end of the day, that's not what this report is about. This report is about analyzing the data using Power BI. So when I brought the data in, when I brought the data set in, there were several things that there were several columns that needed to be transformed, and I will see if I can remember exactly which one. So for instance, if I come over to the price column, the price is showing a text field. Well, we don't want the price in text. We want the price to be in decimals so that we can sum it up. We can aggregate the data. So, but here we see that the price as was brought in is actually showing the price, is showing the change, and is showing the percent change. For those of you guys that know stocks and know investments and annuities and things like that, you pretty much understand the change and the percent change. I'm not going to go too deep into that because, again, I don't want to get caught up in trying to teach you stocks. I want to teach you Power BI. So the teaching point here with Power BI is we needed to do a transformation. The transformation we need to do here was to extract data. So the data that we extracted we wanted to extract this data, the price data, to where we can only see just the price. So basically what I did was I extracted the data, and the way that I know it's the data that I extracted, which for instance, if you see here, this number is 17.00, I know that the price is 17.00, but I don't need the negative 0.08 and everything in the parentheses. So I extracted the 17.00 out, and I extracted that price out. I extracted that data out from each one of the rows here in this particular column, and how I know, and I created a new column with just the price. And the way that I know it's the price that I created is I did price, and I placed the 0 after it. When I placed the 0 after it, that let me know that, hey, this is the price column that I created, and not the original price column. And I did that for each column that I made a change in. I added a 0 so that I could tell that I created that particular column. For instance, here in market cap, I needed to extract out the numbers here in market cap, and then I wanted to make it a decimal because it was actually a text. So I extracted out that data, and now I see that this data here is in decimal form, and the 0 is showing me that that's the column that I created. Another column that I created was volume. The original volume, just like with market cap, it had the unit to it, whether it was billions or trillions or millions. So I extracted out the data from market cap so that I didn't have the units, and then I extracted out a column for just the unit for market cap so that I can see the billion, the trillion, or the million that's associated with market cap. Same as with the volume. I extracted out the numerical value for volume. Again, I created a heading title called 0 with a 0 at the end, so that I know that was the column that I created. And for volume, I do believe that there was a unit for volume as well, and we'll probably see that. If I didn't, I think I may have skipped over it somewhere. But at the end of the day, all the locations that I have zeros, those are columns that I created, and then those were actually text in the beginning, and I made those guys decimal so that we could summarize. So as you'll see when you look at the report that we have created here in the report view, you will see that the only values that I'm going to be using when it comes to those with data values, with numerical values, are the ones that have zeros at the end. Those are the columns that I created, and I believe the percent and percent change may have already been in percent form, so I did not change those. I did not have to change those because those are already in numerical value. Volume, as you can see here, this was the volume column. It's in text, and the reason why it's in text because we have numbers and we have text, so that automatically makes it text. Therefore, I had to transform this data and extract out the numerical value and then call that a decimal, and extract out the text value and call that text. So that is how I did data transformations when it came to building out this report. Now, what I am going to show you here is once I make these transformations, then I would do close and apply. I have not made any changes, so all I have to do is click apply. Another thing is, if you come back over to where it says applied steps, you can see all of the transformations that I made. I inserted the text before delimiter, inserted the text before delimiter, inserted the text before delimiter, which means I was extracting the text before the delimiter and creating a new column. And all of these steps here is everything that I did. Initially is the source, and then every time I did a transformation, it shows you the steps that I used for that particular transformation. So I could delete a transformation if I want to revert back to the original. If I want to revert back to the original data set, but I don't want to delete anything. I want to keep it where it is because that's how I built my report. So now I'm going to click close. I'm not going to click close and apply because I've already applied the transformations. I didn't apply any transformations here. I was just showing you what I did. And then it brings me back to my data view, and Power BI now calls it table view. And all of my transformations are shown. So what I did was, if I come over to where it shows data, what I did, and let me let me minimize the crypto because we're not talking crypto. We're only going to look at the stock of pen. If you look at here where I have, I've clicked the button. Here it's like an eyeball. So here I have an eyeball with a line through it. Line through it means it's hidden. So all the places that I have, that I created new columns, the original column, I hid the columns. I didn't delete anything. I just hid the columns so that it doesn't confuse us when we get over to the report view. Also, the columns that I probably will not use in the report, I hid those columns as well. So as you can see, column 1, I didn't create a new column 1, but I wasn't